ما أريد من هذا الشعب إلا أن يزيد في الحمد والشكر إلى الله عز وجل، ويزيد من محبة الوطن، ويزيد من العمل ومضاعفة العمل لما يسعى فيه من خير له وللدولة والأهل. هذا اللي أنا أدوره من الشعب، وربنا إن شاء الله يوفقنا جميعا على ما يحب ويرضى.
اللي دار زايد لا تقرب حماها، لا تقرب منازلها إلا محب. زايد أسسها واليوثن وراها، داروا على الدانات 7 أبد. اللي دار زايد لا تقرب حماها، لا تقرب منازلها.
There is no better way for us to truly understand what it means to have good leadership. Whether that's in a company, whether that's in a family, or whether that's in a country. The UAE has, I believe, set the standard for the best leadership this world can see, the best business model, the best sovereign model, and today, one of the best environments for you to have the most fulfilling life that you can have. So our leaders here have left no stone unturned. I was born and raised here, and I have seen nothing but one positive decision after another that has led us to where we are today, to make UAE one of the most powerful forces on this planet from a nation perspective.
Welcome to Pearls of Union, a program that sheds a light on the brightest minds and most inspiring figures in the UAE. In every episode, we dive deep into the journeys of exceptional individuals who turned ambition into achievement and challenges into opportunities. And one of those successful personalities is our special guest for today, and he is Mr.SUMIT PATHAK, the CEO of LINUS International. Thank you so much. I'm so pleased to see you today.
It's my pleasure to be here. Thank you very much.
So let's go back to the beginning, to the defining moments of your career. How would you describe your academic and professional journey?
My academic journey has been probably the most rewarding experience as I grew up here in the UAE. I was born here, raised here, had a significant journey with my schooling, early academics. High school in Dubai was one of the most, I would say, rewarding experiences. And then that set the foundation for me to go abroad, to get higher education. And this was all these opportunities were available specifically because of the foundation Dubai provided us. When my father came in here nearly 45 odd years ago, he started from nothing to get to a point where he was able to get me the best quality education. And Dubai as a city and an emirate and UAE as a country allowed us to have those opportunities which we otherwise would not. Yeah. So foreign education allowed me to also broaden my horizons, bring a significant amount of wealth of information back to the country, the emirate, the family, and then the business.
And what were the tough moments that you have faced during your career?
Tough moments are, I believe, the most amazing learning experiences that I can have, and no amount of theory or textbook can teach you what to do when there is a crisis. We've had a few crises. I think we've seen them over the years, 2008 being one of the largest global crises that also affected the UAE and specifically Dubai. Yeah. It affected our business. What it taught me most importantly was to be resilient, to know how your business should survive in the absolute worst case scenario, when the market does not support, when resources are limited, when you may lose your core business to competition, or entire industries get reshuffled. So it's at that time you get the lessons to know what to do when this will happen the next time. Dubai has learned from it also, so which is why every subsequent crisis that we have faced, both as an emirate, as an industry, as a company, and as a family, we have become stronger. and it has affected us less.
Yeah, and also behind every successful business and behind every achievement, supporters. So who have been your biggest supporters, mentors, and your source of inspiration during your career?
I could make a very long list, but the ones that have had the most iconic effects on me, it's been my father. My father is a tremendous, I would say, a bottomless pit of information, experiences, mistakes, of course, and challenges bested. And he's given that information to me in bite-sized, often notes over the years that has accumulated, and it's like an encyclopedia. Another mentor for me has been my uncle. By far, I believe, one of the most level-headed person who is designed to deal with challenges, conflicts, and find adequate resolution. So it's largely been a family mentorship enterprise for me. Yes.
And your father is a pillar of your success.
Absolutely. I would say he's a pillar and a gambler. So on one side, he is dauntless. He can never stop facing challenges. When in those situations where things are the most challenging, he oftentimes will go in the opposite direction. When people will say, make hay when the sun shines, he may gamble and double down and decide to take risky decisions, which ultimately have helped us grow even faster. When everyone's looking to go in one direction, he looks at the other and analyzes it, and oftentimes takes a decision in that.
So he has his own strategies to lead successfully the business, and you learned from him.
He taught me to respect instinct. So where a lot of businessmen have got experience, and he had the ability to build on that experience, he has experience plus instinct. Often, whatever he's learned from experience will go out the window, and he will trust his instinct.
Yeah. Now, sir, let's focus on LINUS International. Can you please provide us with an overview of the company? How was the first step and what inspired its founding?
It's a very interesting question because our story has largely worked in reverse. So we had independent entities. There's the real estate division, there's the investment division, there's the scaffolding division. All of these were working as independent islands, very disconnected from each other. So it was my first project, I would say my most challenging project, to bring all of these entities under one branding, under one holding, and to create a cohesive structure, a cohesive narrative and story around LINUS International. LINUS International was a very interesting name for us to choose. It's my father's name in reverse. His name is Sunil. So LINUS is literally the reverse of his name. It's an homage to him. That's the first challenge that I faced, is to get everyone into one story. These are very different organizations, very different entities, to bring them under one and expand them from there on. Has been a very rewarding experience. All of our companies are growing much faster than expected. They've got a board structure now. They've got significant organizational leadership structures in place, SOPs, and various mechanisms in place to move faster in their growth and progress.
Great. So you are operating in various sectors. How do you ensure excellence and innovation across these diverse fields?
It's fairly interesting. The challenge actually comes in when you look at each of these independent entities. They are in very different industries. Each industry has its own way of functioning. It has its own way of managing teams. It has its own way of building culture. You may have the same value system across all the entities and the headquarters, but you have to understand that each company runs with its own ethos, its own ideology, its own style. And once you get that, you foster that. You don't force them to work in a different way. And of course, the most critical factor here is to put the right leadership in place. I learned this from my father. I learned this from my uncle. Empowering people, keeping them accountable, but giving them the power to make decisions. And creative thinking where possible, flexibility and adaptability. Each one of these companies need to work in their own way, only believing in one thing and one thing alone, that there is shared values across the board.
So these are your values here inside the...
Yes.
Great. Also, sir, you are operating in the UAE,
Correct.
USA and India. So how do you adapt your strategies to meet the specific needs of your customers?
I can try my best to adapt as much as I want, but the most challenging thing to adapt to is time. There are varying time zones that we work in, but the critical factors here is understanding something called cultural intelligence. The way it works in the US is far different from the way it works in India. It's far different from how it works here in the UAE. They have different ways of executing contracts, different ways of establishing business relationships. Even something as small as how payments are made can be very different from these environments. So again, it goes back to that point of leadership. Each one of these entities has its own leadership that understands what that cultural intelligence is, understand what the client and the customer is expecting, what the stakeholders want, and then trying to connect it at all points in time and not getting confused between different environments. You can't apply UAE to US or US to India. But what you can do is, as far as the values remain the same, the customer always comes first, and always be transparent and honest.
This is also the philosophy of your father, which is a commitment to impact the others, a commitment to culture, development, and community impact. So can you please share with us some successful projects or initiatives that translate this commitment?
The commitments my father first embarked on were to almost never compromise on keeping our vendors and our stakeholders as close as possible to us. Because when we do that is when we create that community of business. Business is never done in isolation. It's almost always the same ocean that everyone is swimming in. So if your vendors know that they can trust you and they can work with you, if your stakeholders are happy because they know that you are sticking to the values while you're also growing the business positively, then a sense of community builds in where you know you're part of a story, you're part of a narrative. That is what is going to grow the business going forward. So my father's built that entire story that there is a mix between family and business, and there are a lot of things that will come together between them, and that's where his strengths lie, to create that story and narrative, to build that sense of community, and you can build anything on top of that foundation.
So sir, in this highly competitive environment, what sets your operations apart from other players in the industry?
There's about 3 things that I would think are fairly good differentiating factors for our businesses. Now, of course, each one of these businesses are in different sectors, so they have their own differentiating factors. But if we are to speak about our scaffolding business, the one thing that my uncle taught me as being the most defining characteristics of separating yourself apart, one is always trying to be as innovative as possible. Innovation gives you an edge. It helps you move faster in certain directions where everyone is still stuck before. The second is customer first strategy. Everyone will tell you it's customer first, but to actually make that happen is a significant challenge. Today, for our scaffolding company, we have a system in place where any person who is dealing with us can tell us that there is 100% reliability factor to work with Desarc scaffolding. They know that we are transparent. They know they can trust the system in a way where they could technically close their eyes and deal with us, that they won't be wronged, that nothing will go in the wrong direction. That's a level of trust that not only comes with time, but it has to be part of your value system. And that differentiates you from others, because you'll see other companies out there that will say, yes, customer is first, but given the opportunity, they will charge you more, or they will change their words, or they will change their terms. And we have been here for nearly 50 years as a family, at least. And we'll be here for 50 years more and even more. And that's only going to be happening if people are going to continue to trust us. So the differentiating factor here is trust, transparency, and innovation.
So your philosophy is trust, transparency, and innovation. Great. Now, looking ahead, what is your vision for the future of the company? What specific goals do you aim to achieve?
There's just no shortage of goals that we can have for this organization and our subsidiary companies. I mean, we are in the UAE, right? It is at the cutting edge of everything. So it gives us a foundation to grow and dream big. Our warehousing division and our real estate development divisions are looking at doing some of our largest projects in the next 3 years. And this is only because the market continues to support. The leadership of this country has given us a gold mine to dig in, and we're just still at the tip of the iceberg. On the other hand, our scaffolding companies, which is providing direct services to the construction sector, continues to benefit from such a robust construction environment and development environment that our leadership has provided us, that we are looking at opening our 6th branch. We're looking at expanding internationally, trading internationally, all of which has become possible only because the UAE gives us the resources we need.
Sir, the UAE is known for its supportive regulations and business-friendly environment. So how has the UAE contributed to the success and the growth of LINUS International?
Again, I could write a book on this, but over the years, we've seen everything become faster, simpler, more transparent. And this has allowed us to cut through red tape. It has allowed us to see things becoming more direct. We can work directly with the government now. Almost everything has turned digital, and in many ways it's going to become even more magical because we're going to have AI technologies now getting implemented across the board in the UAE. The UAE and Dubai specifically has also been at the forefront of adopting new technologies. In many ways, it's easier to do business in the UAE and Dubai than it has been in the US, than it has been in Western countries for us. Things are more straightforward, they're more transparent, they can be done digitally at the flick of a finger. And there's support services available across the board, which even Dubai did not have 10 years ago. So there's been a quick adoption. That flexibility has allowed us to grow significantly, and I think that's going to be the ethos for us to innovation, right?
So as a successful leader, how can you define success?
I'd say it's a combination of two factors. One is discipline and one is persistence. Discipline is a matter of understanding that when you make a decision and you have a certain values and principles that you have to stand by, that you stay within those parameters and you do not waver from what your words and your actions mean. Persistence is, it doesn't matter what the market scenario is. You have to persist. You have to stay consistent. You have to face the challenges in the not the best times and fight even more when it is the best times, so that you can plan for the next period, which is going to put more challenges towards you.
Great. Actually, sir, you are a source of inspiration for the new generation. So what is your advice to young entrepreneurs aspiring to enter the same field?
I say, if you're entering this field, look for taking as many challenges as you can on board. When you face the challenge, know that there's going to be a lot of headwinds. You have to remain consistent. You have to be persistent. You have to maintain a discipline. But most importantly, be ready to take risks. The more risks you take, the more doors will present themselves to you, and you can then choose to walk through whichever door you want to. A failure in this market of any kind is a learning experience, and Dubai and the UAE has been the greatest teacher so far and will never fail to teach us better.
Thank you for your advice, sir. So, born and raised in the UAE, this country has for sure contributed to your success.
Oh, absolutely.
So what is your appreciation message you would like to convey through our episode to the UAE and its rulers?
There is no better way for us to truly understand what it means to have good leadership. Whether that's in a company, whether that's in a family, or whether that's in a country. The UAE has, I believe, set the standard for the best leadership this world can see, the best business model, the best sovereign model, and today, one of the best environments for you to have the most fulfilling life that you can have. So our leaders here have left no stone unturned. I was born and raised here, and I have seen nothing but one positive decision after another that has led us to where we are today, to make UAE one of the most powerful forces on this planet from a nation perspective.
Thank you so much, sir. It was my pleasure talking with you today. Wish you all the best.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure.
Dear audience, this is the end of our episode. Watch us next week. Goodbye.